If you're new to Durham, or this is the first time you've submitted a research grant application, the process may seem a little daunting. This short video will talk you through the systems and processes here at Durham and give you a step-by-step guide on what you need to do and where you can go for help. The Research Grants team based in Mountjoy are a dedicated team of specialists who can help you navigate through the bid process. Some departments also have a research administrator based in their department who will also be able to provide you with support. The grants team provide advice on finding funding, application development, approval and submission processes and award negotiation.
So I've got an idea for a research bid. Where do I begin?
Well, you should have a mentor within your department who you can discuss your idea with. You then need to get an in-principle agreement from your department and make sure it fits with your department research strategy, but you should also begin conversation with the research office.
So now I have my idea, where can I get help to find someone who'll fund my research?
Well, we have many resources available to assist you finding funding. The first is Research Professional. This is an online funding database. If you don't already have a username and password for this, please do get in contact with the research office. We run regular training sessions which are available throughout the year. Details can be found on our website. Research office and departments and institutes all circulate funding opportunities as well. These are also all available on the research office website. There are also many events held throughout the year which you can attend. Many of these involve external funders coming into Durham to talk about their funding opportunities. Details of all of these will be advertised on our website. Sign up to follow the research office on Twitter for regular updates.
Now I know who I'm going to approach to fund my research. What happens next?
We need to check that you're eligible to apply and that the funder will provide the financial support that you require. The research office can help you with this. For some schemes we have institutional quotas and we will need to run internal selection processes to choose which bids go forward. Other schemes require match funding by the university and this needs to be approved before you begin the application process.
Okay, so what else do I need to think about?
Well, we need to think about costing and pricing. We need to establish how much your research is going to cost. The university uses a costing tool called PFAT to calculate salary costs. The research office or your department administrator can run these salary costs for you. However, if you wish, you can do these for yourself to help with scenario planning. Contact the research office for details on how to access PFAT.
Your research proposal will also have to go through ethical review. All departments will have an ethical review form that you will have to fill out and submit to your departmental review committee. If the project is particularly complicated in terms of its ethical concerns, this may go up to faculty level, so you need to leave time for this. The other review process that you need to consider is getting peer review. You can ask for informal peer review from colleagues in your department throughout the process from the beginning to the end, but you will also need to ensure that the project goes through a formal process of peer review, organised either through your department for smaller grants or through the research office and your faculty for larger funding grants.
You also need to think about things such as data management plans, how you're going to store your data, how you're going to retrieve your data in future. Again, contact the research office for details. If you're applying for a piece of equipment on your grant, you should first check the institution's equipment database, Research Equipment at Durham, to see if that equipment is already available in the university. For RC UK grants, an equipment over £10,000 requires match funding and this needs approval by your faculty prior to submission.
Some calls for funding will only allow the university to submit a limited number of applications. In these cases, the university has to run a system of demand management. You will need to have your proposal in reasonable shape much earlier than would be indicated by the deadline of the funder, so that the university can peer review and pick the ones that it wishes to put forward. Okay, so now I have completed my application. Is there anything else I need to do before I can submit?
You need to complete a RAR form, the Research Application Approval Form. This will be prepared for you by either your research office or your department administrator once all the costs are completed. Please ensure that you read and answer all the questions before you sign this form. Once you have signed the form now needs to be signed by your head of department and in some cases faculty or even University Executive Committee, UEC. You need to ensure that you leave enough time to get this RAR form approved. Once approved, it should be returned to the research office for final university approval and then you may go ahead and submit your application.
Once your proposal has been submitted, the organisation will send the proposal out for external peer review. With many funders, you'll get comments back from your peer reviewers and you are given an opportunity to respond to those comments. We suggest you seek advice from more senior colleagues in making your response in order to maximise this opportunity to counter any negative comments.
Hopefully we will receive positive news on your research will be funded. If it is rejected, then you can work with colleagues across the university to look at potential other sources of funders and also look at ways to improve and strengthen your bid. If successful, please contact the Research Office, who will complete the grant negotiations with the legal support team on your behalf. Please be aware that only the Chief Operating Officer can sign contracts on behalf of the university, so please ensure that you do forward any paperwork to the Research Office. The contract negotiation can take a little time, particularly if there are multiple partners involved. Once all the contracts have been signed, you'll be issued an RF budget code and your research can begin. Good luck!